With the news that Ferrari's star driver Charles Leclerc would be open to switching to Mercedes, a storm is brewing within the Ferrari camp. At the recent Formula 1 season finale, Leclerc placed second in the drivers' titles after Max Verstappen. Although the French driver's current deal with Ferrari runs through 2024, he hasn't ruled out the idea of switching teams after a dismal campaign. Leclerc had a strong start to the season but slowed down significantly because of Ferrari's subpar strategy. And Mercedes will eventually have to find a replacement for Lewis Hamilton, as he is expected to drive on for a year or two. But then, someone has to fill his shoes. And who better to replace Hamilton than a race-winning young driver with at least 10 more years in him? Do you think Leclerc would fit in at Mercedes? Will he be able to outperform George Russell and beat Max Verstappen when fitted in a silver arrow? Let us know your thoughts on Leclerc's proposed switch to Mercedes in the comments below. And so, the 25-year-old may seek out other pastures as a result of this disappointment and a rumoured falling out with Ferrari team principal Matteo Binotto, according to the Mirror. Although Matteo Binotto is now gone, there is no certainty who will take over. And if the new team boss won't improve Ferrari quickly, the Monegasque could be on the look for a new seat. Ferrari feels further away than ever from a modern team, should be, as it is ready to choose its fifth Formula 1 boss in less than 10 years. This has obviously started up the rumour mill of Leclerc leaving Ferrari again. And Mercedes hopes to use the situation to recruit new talent for its team. Toto Wolff, the team manager for Mercedes, has previously stated unequivocally that he won't hesitate to snare a star driver from a rival team to take Lewis Hamilton's place. Leclerc's future with Ferrari after 2024 may depend significantly on how well he does in the upcoming season. Seven-time champion Hamilton is nearing the end of his career, and Mercedes appears to have already begun looking for a replacement. The British man is anticipated to stay and extend at the Brackley company this winter. In addition, according to Sky Sports, Mercedes is thought to have signed George Russell to a binding long-term contract. Hamilton has sent a bold message following a difficult season in which Mercedes failed to claim the constructors and drivers' titles, even as Mercedes starts to consider long-term. Hamilton failed to win a single race while driving the W13 Silver Arrows, which were no match for the powerful Red Bull and Ferrari vehicles. The 37-year-old has stated that he will return stronger the following season, hinting that he wants to stay in Formula 1 for a longer period of time. I'm pretty sure I speak for all of us when I say I'm glad the season has come to an end. Won't miss it. Hamilton continued by thanking his team for their efforts throughout the year, and saying that he thought they'd learned enough to compete at the top the next year. I have no doubt we'll come back better. We'll be back. I'll be back. But if Hamilton decides to leave the sport, Leclerc could be the one to take over his seat. At least that would be the case if Toto Wolff could choose anyone on the grid. Even though Leclerc's ties to Mercedes have not been recently publicised, but they go back more than 3 years, and the Monegasque is the driver on whom Ferrari is putting most of its expectations for the near future. However, that did not stop a L'Equipe reporter from asking Leclerc about the possibility while doing an interview. Wolff had reportedly remarked that if Leclerc was free at the end of 2024, he would be happy to welcome him to Mercedes. The 25-year-old driver, who earned 3 of his 5 Formula 1 victories during the 2022 season, was informed of this. Asked whether that was a move he would angle for, a surprised Leclerc replied, "2024 is a long time away, and there's still a little time left at Ferrari. This team has always been my dream. My objective at the moment is to win with Ferrari, and then we'll see. I'm very happy with Ferrari and I want to win with them." But when did Toto Wolff say that Charles Leclerc would be a good fit for his team? Back in February 2020, Wolff was questioned by Auto, Motor and Sport on the potential for him to join Mercedes with either Max Verstappen or Leclerc. The Austrian's response was, "I would be surprised if both of these young drivers have committed to their teams for 5 years and closed the door to everywhere else." Wolff also mentioned Esteban Ocon, another person intimately associated with the Silver Arrows, and George Russell at the time. Russell is now, of course, a Mercedes driver. Verstappen, who's won back-to-back world championships with Red Bull, is under contract there until the end of 2028. Charles Leclerc's contract expires at the end of 2024. Leclerc's contract with Ferrari was extended by the Italian automaker until the end of 2024 at the start of the 2021 season. An extension until 2026 was reportedly set to be agreed upon later that year, although no confirmation of it ever materialized. Given the Scuderia's ultimately poor 2022 season, which followed a promising start that included 2 victories in the first 3 races, it would make sense for Leclerc to leave his options open starting in 2025, especially now that there is uncertainty about the new team boss. Where does Lewis Hamilton fit in if Mercedes is interested in Charles Leclerc? Remember that even though Leclerc was only questioned about Mercedes and spoke about it, the relationship that was brought up in the interview actually dates back to February 2020. Lewis Hamilton has, of course, been talking this year about extending his contract with Mercedes, where he's currently employed through to the end of the 2023. An extension of Hamilton's contract, which would keep him through the end of 2024, is anticipated to be announced this winter, which might fuel Leclerc rumours even more, as the contract then expires at the same time Leclerc's does, and Hamilton will be 39 years old by that time. The longevity of the current lineup is going to depend only on how long Hamilton is willing to devote himself for, because George Russell is, you would think, fairly secure in the Mercedes ranks after contributing the team's lone victory this season. And so, with the possibility of Lewis Hamilton leaving at the end of 2023 or 2024, there might be an opening. And the final portion of the interview, in which Leclerc suggests that he might leave Ferrari if he isn't happy with the team's current situation, leaves a lot to be desired. However, there is a good possibility he will decide enough is enough and join a team with a history of winning titles. Not that Ferrari doesn't, but Mercedes has dominated the sport for 8 straight seasons since Ferrari's last championship was in 2007. It would be heartbreak for the Ferrari fans, as Charles Leclerc has raised through the Ferrari ranks over time and is a true Scuderia driver at heart. But Leclerc will have a lot to consider if the opportunity is provided to him, especially if Ferrari won't be able to provide a championship-winning car soon. At this point, the team might try to keep Leclerc happy by replacing the departing Binotto with Leclerc's former team manager, Fred Vasseur. Leclerc and Vasseur had a wonderful working connection while they were both employed by Alfa Romeo, so this may benefit Ferrari. Only time will tell whether Leclerc will drive for Mercedes, but with Wolff stating his intention in having Leclerc back in 2020 and indicating that he doesn't mind stealing him for Ferrari, the situation is far from over. Will Leclerc ever drive in a Mercedes? Will he be the perfect replacement for the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton? Could he live up to the expectations at Mercedes? And will Toto Wolff choose Leclerc over Lando Norris? Let us know your thoughts about the situation in the comments below. We'd love to read them. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you've enjoyed the video. This way you'll help us grow and reach more Formula 1 fans. As always, thanks for watching the video.